No, I got to lean in.
What is up, everybody? Happy PK, happy Thursday night. Wrong show. Look, this is the third show that I've been on this week. I don't know what day it is. I don't know where I'm at. What's going on? But thank you guys so much for joining us for the season 5 premiere of the Real Housewives of Miami on their new home
season 6
on Bravo. Season 6. Jesus, see, my God, today. Production, thank you. Season 6 of The Real Housewives of Miami. They are off of Peacock officially and back on Bravo. It's a full circle moment. Today's episode was titled Nuevos, Horizontes, and I think it is a fitting title because we have a new panelist joining us for this season. If you watched the Real Housewives of New York reunion or recap, Love was on there. So Love, say hi to everybody.
Hi, everybody.
And then, of course, if you have been a resident of the Lean for any amount of time, you know Danny from multiple other panels. Everybody say hello to Miami resident Danny.
Buenos dias.
Buenos noches.
all of that.
All of that. Every time. How are y'all doing tonight?
I am tired.
Yes, tired. Love, you're looking very festive.
Let's get it started.
Right, I'm ready for Thanksgiving. But so I know that we were all a little bit concerned about production, about content, about the way the show was going to be being moved away from Peacock, where these ladies were kind of the star, and moved back over to Bravo. But I think we all can kind of be in agreement after this season premiere. I'm not really worried anymore. These ladies came in swinging on this first episode. I think it was probably the best premiere of any franchise this year on Bravo. And I don't think we have anything to worry about. And this recap is going to be fantastic. So let's go ahead and jump right into it. Thank you to everybody who is already viewing. Hey, Sean S. Hey, Cortez. Ooh, we got the boss on the line. Best behavior tonight. Thank you to all the viewers. Before we get started, be sure to like, subscribe, and share this video. Let's get into it. So right off the bat, we start with the recap of the reunion of last year, and it is just chaos. Everybody's fighting. We've got Nicole versus Larsa, Gertie versus Alexia and Marisol versus Adriana. If you watched last season, you know, really nobody left in a good place. The group was very, very fractured. I think the only one that was neutral across all lines was Lisa.
Kiki.
And Kiki, well,
Oh, yeah.
Kiki was about to sue Adriana. So.
But you know what, Jamie? I want to say real quick, and I'm sorry to interrupt. But
no, you're fine.
It's crazy to me that the recap of the reunion at the beginning was just as exciting as if I had just watched it if it was my first time watching it. I was just that entertained still.
Listen, these ladies know how to put on a show. So we flash forward to today. Alexia, we get a little tidbit of a party that's going to be happening later on in the season, and we smash cut to everybody arguing with everybody again. Does not look like things have changed much. We take it back about a week and a half earlier, and Alexia is talking to her non-Cuban gringo husband now because they got married on the break. We find that after the drama he had with Dr. Nicole's husband, Anthony, instead of reaching out to him directly to apologize, he goes on some weird Louis IG rant apologizing for like 8.5 minutes.
It was very baby boomerish. It was giving.
It was like, why are you on IG Live apologizing to this man? Call this man.
Embarrassing.
Call this man.
They want to recap it on the show.
They very much do. Everybody kind of agrees that it was cringe. Even Alexia, which I was surprisingly shocked. I thought that she would be like, my man, he did no wrong. But she was like, yeah, I really wish he had not done that. Nicole accepted the apology, but was kind of like, this was weird. You didn't have to do it online. Larsa says she's never given a 9-minute apology in her life, and she's done a lot of crappy things. And correct me if I'm wrong, but I don't remember Larsa ever apologizing in any capacity.
Not even 10 seconds. Not even 10 seconds.
Not even a 10-second. Nothing. Not even a meh. My bad. Tell us in the comments who's worse at apologizing, her or Erica Girardi. So now we see.
Larsa.
Larsa.
Yeah, Larsa. Erica's like, you'll get it in like a season or two, but you'll get it.
You'll get it eventually after I talk to my therapist.
Or her behavior will change for a little bit, at least.
She'll find God. Next we have the next scene. We're on a yacht, and Lisa and her man are with Larsa and the child that she's babysitting. I don't know if was I the only one, but that shot of her and him kissing was kind of cringe to me because why is that man wearing socks while he's on a boat? Like you just walk around.
Why is he there in the first place?
Well,
isn't there an age limit when there's a bar?
You must be this. Well, he's tall, so never mind. But not the age limit at a bar. He just turned. He's fine. We get a little bit into it. Larsa said neither one of them care about headlines, and obviously we get a lot of flash cuts of the various headlines talking about Larsa dating her ex-husband's former best friend, teammate, now nemesis son, who is named after him. Follow those dots. But they're happy, and he doesn't mind the backlash that they're getting. They're talking about wedding rings. Lisa, in front of her man, says that she misses wearing a wedding ring, but assures everybody she doesn't miss being married. She just likes that it's a nice piece of jewelry. She would get it resized to fit on her middle finger to give Leonard a nice big FU. Apparently, it's been a year later. They are no closer to a settlement in this divorce. She's contesting the prenup because Lenny is a nasty piece of work who lives for embarrassing her, flaunting his child bride all over the internet. I feel a little bad for her because of this, but I also feel very bad because whoever did her makeup is not her friend. Like the contour color is 2 shades darker than the roots of her hair.
On who?
The lighting is horrible. Like this was a vendetta. Lisa.
Oh, because that could apply to Larsa too, but go ahead.
And Larsa, her makeup artist got her 2 shades too light. Like, I don't know.
No, we're going to start with the surgeon. We got to start from the beginning of the story with Larsa. We start with the surgeon.
There's so many things.
She's looking
so
old already. She's looking old.
The fillers aren't filling. The fillers are not filling. They're no longer filling. Now, makeup aside, Lisa does look good. If we remember, last year, Lisa said that she was going to reel it back in on the fillers and she was going to get some stuff dissolved. I think she looks great, but there's something, I think she may have bleached her hair a little too light for the amount of self-tanner she puts on because she looks crazy. She looks a little crazy, but I still love her.
I was going to say, she doesn't look great. She looks better. There's a difference.
She went down in quality in one area and up in quality in another. Like, so on from what we can tell, her man he seems very supportive. They're talking about they're purchasing a new home. And so these ladies seem to be in a good spot relationship-wise. So I know that we, a lot of talk last season about the hell that Lenny has been putting Lisa through. In the off season, I know we all have been kind of following the headlines. What are y'all's thoughts as we get through this little introduction that Lisa is now being so forthcoming with kind of Lenny digging his heels and not wanting to really pay her anything? Love?
I honestly think Lisa needs to completely go a different direction with the energy this storyline is giving. Girl, your entire testimony is documented with Bravo. Just run the entire season.
Run the tapes.
Run the tapes. I would skip out of every deposition and grab a mimosa at my local bar every time court adjourned. It is the easiest divorce I've probably ever seen. Girl, he kicked you, your kids, and his mama out. You're fine.
The mama got back in because she turned on Lisa, if we remember.
This is true.
The mama didn't like not being in that house.
It's a horrible situation to be in. I just wish she would realize how much power she has in this divorce.
Yeah. Danny, fillers that aren't filling aside, what are your thoughts?
I'm actually not surprised that she's digging her heels and blasting him. It's exactly what I expected her. I still expect her to talk about this for the entire season. So yeah, no shock there to me because it's not. I mean, and we really can't expect her to talk anything else because they're still going through it. It's still very much an active part of her life. I don't think that Lisa is putting on. She's one of those people. She's very bitter. She can't let things go. She goes crazy over little minuscule things. So I just know that when it comes to this, Like she was like, why fight the lawyers? Just pay me and pay for my kids. Like the lawyers are winning. Give me that money. Like, girl, you know that man is not going to do that. So like, just be prepared for this fight. The man obviously would rather spend $19 million in attorney fees than give you anything more than what he wants to give you. It's a control thing for him.
Absolutely.
He hates
it's,
you.
you know, her new man. Exactly. Her new man is very handsome and seems very like patient with her. I would much rather see a story of her like bouncing back and getting her groove back with this new man with sprinkling of like the drama of the divorce rather than following an entire divorce saga through 15 or 16 episodes because it's going to get exhausting very quick.
I wonder though if she wants to show happiness and moving on while she's still going through proceedings. She may want to.
That's true.
Act like she may.
But she's the victim though. She's on the other end. So
that's fine.
As soon as there's infidelity in the divorce, the judge automatically.
No, I get that. But she can get more. But she can get more still. She can get more still being showing her. We're not going to act like sympathy and all that doesn't play into judgment sometimes.
Just sprinkle episodes of you crying and that's it. She'll be all right.
Well, there'll be plenty of episodes of her doing that.
Yeah.
So we pivot from them to Anthony and Queen Nicole talking about remodeling their new home that they purchased. They purchased it for what, $21.5 million? And it's a teardown. Like, my God, a $21.5 million teardown. And they're staying at their vacation home while the renovations are happening, which is also gorgeous and humongous. The new home needs a full remodel. I feel like this scene was strictly for them to say, my bag is big, my bag is heavy, and we've got coins. Let's not forget it. Between Miami's premiere last night and booking private jets and going shopping, and then this tonight, like, money is back on Bravo. I missed seeing money. I missed seeing opulence. This is what we need. Gertie stops by to help them christen the house. She brings a couple of gifts, and Gertie looks so cute. I love Gertie's fashion. I love fashion Gertie. She says that she has been in contact with Julia since filming has ended. Nicole says that she and Larsa had a convo after the reunion and seemed to be in a pretty good place. Gertie is gagged because she remembers at the end of that reunion, some pretty harsh things were said on both parts. Then she kind of intimates to Nicole that her and Larsa are now not speaking because Gertie did an interview where she answered a question saying that Larsa was the fakest one in the cast. These interviews that these housewives be doing are getting them in a lot of trouble, but I love it. It's good for us. We cut to a confessional of Larsa saying that she's not fake. She's never been fake. I don't know why she would say that. And then, like, we remember that obviously Nicole called her fake. Everything on her body is fake. So, like, I'd need her to reassess a little bit of the inward observation. We switch over to Martina and Julia at their home. If y'all remember, during the break, Martina was diagnosed with breast cancer and with throat cancer, correct?
Right.
It was a double diagnosis. Julia looked super cute with this haircut. I absolutely love it. And I've loved Julia. She looks very refreshed because she wasn't wearing makeup in this. And I was like, damn, okay, like this little haircut, it works on you. They're talking about the cancer diagnosis, the plans for adoption were placed on hold. Julia says that, you know, if you remember last season, their relationship, they kind of seemed like two ships on two different paths. But since the health diagnosis, they're kind of back in, and Julia has recommitted to really taking care of Martina, which I commend. But then they let the goat shit in their kitchen multiple times. And they're just sitting there kikiing while food is being prepared. And the goat is pooping pellets on the kitchen floor. And I really hope the other wives aren't eating. The first thing that came to my head is like, this is why you cannot eat everybody's cooking. So, and Martina is drinking that smoothie like, yum, and just poop pellets.
Let me tell you something.
My God, tell me something.
I had never seen a goat shit, right?
That shit a lot.
I thought she spilled dog food.
I was so confused too, Danny. I was
because
like,
it just come out like pellets and
baby pellets.
But you know, Jamie, back to the beginning of what you were talking about with Larsa and Nicole. The reason I think that Larsa probably made up with her is because she realized after last season, Nicole ain't gonna bow down to her. And I think she realized
nobody.
Nicole is a very formidable opponent. And unlike Adriana, who is gonna do stupid things, say stupid things that can be used against you later on, Nicole doesn't do that. Nicole is very smart. She's very calculated. She knows how to express herself. And Larsa was not ready for that. You know, so yes, most of Larsa's appearance is fake. But what I will say is Larsa has never been one to be scared to say anything to anybody's face in the group. So as far as that is concerned, I don't think that Larsa is fake per se in that arena, because she won't ever deny it if you ask her. She may say it behind your back, but if she's confronted about it, she's going to own up to it. She ain't going to say, no, I didn't say that, you know? So in that regard, I don't think she's super fake. Julia does look lovely and refreshed. I don't know that old man that was in the kitchen with her. That old man was very transphobic during the break in filming, so I ain't got nothing for him. I won't be referring to him the rest of my recaps, just so you know, if I'm hosting, that scene will get skipped.
So do not ask your opinion on anything Martina related.
on that young man. Yep, nothing.
Not young. Love, what do you think of the Larsa being fake, pooping in the kitchen?
He's referring to? No, I'm just kidding.
And the old man River.
Okay, sorry. What do I think about the scene with Julia in the kitchen?
Reel it in.
It was. I was all for it. It's so crazy because I was eating the scene up. I thought it was so cute that she wants another kid so bad that she has a goat that screams like a kid. There's a certain point in time where I really thought there was a kid in the room. Like, it really sounded like there was a 2-year-old just screaming. And I had to remind myself that that's a goat that's screaming. But it was sweet in the sense of, I know she did that on purpose because it's a goat and it's like, it can scream like a child. You can put diapers on, you can dress them up. So I don't know, it was sweet. I thought it was all good until one of the most repulsive things I've ever seen in Housewives history happened with the goat shit and someone actually consuming 2 feet away, where I don't even remember if it was it all cleaned up?
Before the eating,
she didn't even take a wet rag and wipe. She just took up a napkin and a paper towel, dry one, and girl. Ugh.
It's a lot, but the aspect of it is sweet. I really enjoy
the intent.
I really enjoyed you. I think she looks refreshing, like you guys said. She just looks great.
That goat screaming really did throw me for a loop. That thing came on like. That came on like Sammy 2 weeks ago on the Housewives of New York panel, calling in. We're not doing that. In his car.
Do me and Sammy need to put on orange for you next time? Don't do it.
So we switch over to Lisa, who's getting her glam done for a deposition. I love that even though she is a victim and she plays that up better than anybody on Housewives, she still has some shade left in her because she said, I don't know, have I ever had to sit for a deposition before? Yeah, because of all of Lenny's lawsuits. I was like, oh my God, you better get that in.
And that's
but she does intimate that she's nervous about getting enough money to be able to support herself and her children. Lenny is putting up a fight, like both of you mentioned before. He hates this lady, and he has no problem blowing $19 million to make sure she does not see a penny of that $19 million. He would rather pay her lawyer to get rich than let her get rich. And my God, do you know how fed up with somebody you have to be?
A serious hate.
Do you know how fed up you have to be?
Yes.
It's hate because for you to fight all that when your kids are going to benefit from this coin, like that's hate.
That's hate.
Yes.
So we see the dolls, Kiki join Marisol and Alexia at the beach. And anytime Kiki steps on the scene, like I love her. She's very Uba to me. Like it's always her and Gertie are always just like dressed and in something bright and colorful and gorgeous and just like you steal the show like without really even trying. Kiki looks next level, but all three of them look great. They're toasting to more money, more cockies on the beach, and Kiki's like, yeah, minute cocks and big feet. And I'm like, Absolutely. Because last season she was crying. She was going through something she didn't want to talk about. I want single Kiki ready to mix and mingle with as many cockies as she wants to mix and mingle with. Good for her. So,
I don't know if Marisol got her a facial feminization done or something, but she looks
baby, she looks good.
Again,
I think it's the fillers as well. Everybody kind of saw themselves
got a
and were
facial
like,
fem.
ooh, not a facial fem. She wanted to be one of the dolls. Does she moan? Is she moaning? So Kiki asked the ladies where they stand with everybody else. Because Kiki said, I didn't fight with nobody. I'm good. Alexia maintains that she is sorry for everything that happened between her and some of the other ladies. She is holding herself accountable to fix things. And the way she is backtracking from last season is very sigh at the reunion. I got to give it to her. She said, no, got to reel it back a little bit. The fans aren't going to turn on me. She says she feels enough time has passed between New York and now, and she wants to invite everybody to this party she's having, which is called Nuevos Horizontes, which means New Horizons. She asks if Adriana is invited, and Alexia says, well, no, New Horizons with everybody but her. I'm not ready. It seems after New York, Adriana did go on a little bit of like a smear campaign against Alexia, running her mouth every possible chance that she could. And so that just kind of pushed the divide between them a little bit more. Marisol is kind of in the same boat. She hasn't forgiven her for the issue of bringing up her boyfriend sliding in the DMs. But then she says, the iconic liver crying out for help letter at the reunion. And then just everything she saw her doing to Alexia just kind of said, you know what? I'm not going to deal with this anymore. Julia and Alexia meet up the next day and kind of squash things between them. Julia looks so cute. I know I said that before. She just looks so cute. She thanks Alexia for her support. Apparently, Alexia has been super supportive since Martina's cancer diagnosis. And I really like seeing the two of them not fighting. It always seemed awkward that they would just randomly blow up at each other. And Alexia acknowledges this. She thinks that Adriana is partially to blame for kind of creating a divide and never letting them really become full friends. They start bonding over gossip, which Julia brings up, that Cardi B mentioned Larsa on Twitter. After Larsa mentioned she had sex 4 times a night, Cardi B retweeted, "You are a liar, stitch your pussy up." And they are laughing over it, falling out. They're bonding over sex talk. But then they get serious, and Alexia says that she is having this party. She invites Julia, and Julia also asks, well, what about Adriana? And Alexia throws Marisol under the bus and says, well, Marisol does not want Alexia at the party, so I kind of don't feel comfortable having Adriana there, which isn't 100% true because she just said she didn't want Adriana there. Well, naturally, Julia takes that information and now has a grudge against Marisol, saying Marisol is really kind of furthering the argument. It's not a good look for them. She tells Alexia it's not a good look to leave one girl out if we're trying to start over. So now we start to see why Julia goes after Marisol later on in the episode. So Danny, what did you think of this little meet and greet that they had to get together, and the Marisol and Alexia really not being there yet with Adriana?
So I want to echo something that Sean S. said earlier, and I agree with her, because Alexia in this first episode was kind of likable to me. Mm-hmm. More than usual, and I don't think it's a sincere change. I think it's exactly what Sean said. She saw the way she played out on camera last season. She saw all the hate she was getting online, so she's trying to rebrand. And you see that later when she lets Marisol fight for her life alone. But what I didn't like about the thing with the Marisol comment about what she tells Julia that Marisol doesn't want Adriana there, so she's not comfortable. It's Marisol actually never said that. I feel like Marisol fed off of Alexia first saying, no, I'm not there with her yet. I don't want her, I don't want her there. But the way she related to Julia was, I'm not going to have her there because of Marisol. Instead of saying, I'm not ready for that myself yet, and neither is Marisol. Like, she could have put herself in it, and that scene later on never would have happened. So other than that, and yeah, Cardi B was right. She lied.
She lied through her teeth. What about you, Love? Anything you want to add?
Yeah, Larsa is a horrible specimen. No. So
you can leave out the ibble and just say whole.
That part. Okay. I actually had to push back on Alexia and Julia in this scene. And
why?
Couple different reasons. First of all, Alexia is messy. I mean, the way her and Marisol handle each other. I'm a Marisol lover, so I'll always side-eye Alexia. I just think she's just intentional with everything. She reminds me of a Giselle. She's calculated. I felt like that was something, like, that was a part of her narrative. Like, all right, let me just go ahead and, you're right, because Marisol don't like her either. Like, girl, what? Like, we're talking about what you don't want extra party. Isn't it your list? Like, so I didn't like that at all. And Julia, I feel like this is one of the examples of you just really not liking somebody and finding any reason to just be like, yeah, what she said, and run with it. Because my thing is this: if Marisol don't want to be in the room with somebody, if she's not ready to forgive and forget, if she's still holding a grudge, that's on her. Why does that bother you? Why does it matter? Are you losing sleep over Marisol not being over things with somebody else? Who cares? Her not going, and you think that you're such a bad friend, your friend needed to be there. My friend will understand that I don't want to be in the room with my ops. Why do you care? You're not in this friendship. So I just felt like it's just petty and Julie. You can just dislike Marisol, which we know they don't rock with each other. But that scene was just messy. Like, I was like, all right.
Yeah.
Like, it was like, let's just make up something and just go with it. Because Julia, who cares?
Yeah.
Yeah, and the other thing is,
I love her though, but who cares?
And here's my thing. I'm not trying to be funny, but let's just say let's just say Alexia didn't say what she said about not wanting, Marisol there yet because she's not ready. I really don't care. If that's my best friend who I have this long history with, I'm going to care about your comfort more than Julia and Adriana. Because you're my friend. You're the one who stood the test of time with me. You're the one that has been there, knows my darkest secrets. So I'm going to want to make sure that you're comfortable before I care about how anybody else feels.
But to me, this scene, Alexia did what Alexia has been doing to Marisol. Marisol goes to bat for her and a lot of times does fight her battles. She does jump in and really defend her. We saw it way back in earlier seasons. We saw it in the first season of the reboot. We saw it on Ultimate Girls Trip, where Alexia kind of started some mess and then kind of backed off and let Marisol fight for her life. Like, Alexia does this thing, and I don't doubt that she loves Marisol, but she gets herself in situations. Marisol pipes up and it's like, okay, you're not going to do my friend, but she never reciprocates that energy for when Marisol needs her to have her back, which we see later on. And I just want my good girl Marisol to kind of peep that and back away a little bit, because that's why she's making so many enemies, because she's going harder for her best friend and issues that her best friend has. And 2 days later, her best friend's like, oh, I don't care anymore. We're friends. We're hanging out. Like, girl.
I agree. I want Marisol to know she don't need to be Alexia's friend to be on the show. They would have her on the show if they were feuding even more.
Yeah. Exactly. Particularly because, if you've watched the first round, Marisol was always very meek and timid, and she didn't really speak up a lot. She faded into the background even as a main housewife. That 10-year break that they took, maybe it was her mother passing and her just kind of getting a new lease on things. But every single season she's popped on, Marisol has no problem speaking her mind and starting shit, whether she's right or wrong with people. So this friendship with Alexia, baby, you really don't need a friend like that. All right, so 24 hours later, Alexia meets with Adriana, and the Queen of Props comes in waving a white flag, and Alexia doesn't get the analogy. She asks, why do you always have to have a prop? Like, what's going on? Adriana tries to explain, like, in war, you know, you wave the white flag. She's like, I've never been to war. Like, okay, girl, like, we're not getting anywhere. So they sit down and Alexia says, you know, I wasn't ready to be here with you, but I just wanted to be the bigger person and extend the olive branch. I'm like, my God, this lady, this lady wants to be the hero in every situation. Okay. But unfortunately, they jump right into it. Adriana says after 13 years, she never did anything to purposely hurt Alexia. Alexia keeps bringing up the comment about the sun, which we all agreed that was not a fair comparison, but we all agreed that Adriana, while it was a dumb thing to say, she was trying to make an analogy,
Right,
like,
exactly.
hey.
Oh, no, I didn't agree on that. But.
Oh, I don't think she was being malicious. She wasn't like casting shade or doing anything. She just, it was not, there was no comparison. One, like, there's nothing. Adriana says what everybody kind of thinks, that she has Alexia, or her and Marisol swap places doing each other's dirty work. After marriage certificate gate, she said that really hurt her. Why does she need to do that? But Adriana does admit, I don't like the way that her ex treated Alexia. And Alexia said, oh my God, see, that's progress. Thank you for agreeing with me. Thank you for telling me that I was wrong, that I was in the right and I'm a victim. Now we can heal. And I'm like, my God, this lady never takes responsibility. But in the end, there's mutual apologies. There are tears. Alexia invites her to Nuevos Horizontes. We fast forward to 2 days later, and they're all getting ready for the party. Marisol calls Alexia, and Alexia tells her about the truce, and you can tell Marisol is less than thrilled. But she says immediately, she's like, you know what? I don't know if I want to come because I really don't want to be around that energy. I don't want to be around Adriana right now. And frankly, I respect that, because if I tell you I don't want to be around somebody that's going to take me to a place, I don't want to be there in your home acting a fool. So I would much rather just not go. And, you know, you said earlier that your friend would understand if I don't go. Alexia absolutely did not understand. She starts crying. Well, Todd's not going to be there because, and I really need my best friend and you have to come. We find out Todd don't want to be in the room because he doesn't want them to talk about that weird ass video that he did. So he pulls a Louis and is like, I'm out. But she keeps guilt tripping Marisol, and you have to be there. You have to do what you have there, bro. You have to be at my party. So Marisol says, you know what? My anxiety is acting up. Maybe I'll show up. Maybe I won't. And she hangs up in Alexia's face. So Love, do you think that Alexia was in the wrong for pushing for Marisol to come to a party where she very clearly says, I don't want to be around that kind of negative energy?
I think it's natural for her to try as a friend, like, hey, I know you don't want to go, but if you think you can reconsider it or just be there for me, I feel you. Then after the person's like, I'm really not trying to do it, pushing after that, it's just that's just her personality. Like, it's expected. Like, you would expect her to just not care and just be like, but no, please do it for me, bro. Come on, please. And not consider you in any capacity. So her asking just friend to friend, hey, this day's really starting to unravel. Do you think you could just be there for me? I know you don't want to. You might say no, but do you think you could at least think about it? That's fine. I was with her on just asking. Continuing after that, I said, shut the hell up. Like, I'm not going, you're not going to force me to be in the room with my ops. Like, it's just not going to happen. And no. I'm with Marisol on, I'm not going. And I hope you understand. Yeah. That's it. That's all. I have anxiety just thinking about it. Now, she shouldn't have hung up on her. You're not going to hang up on me. Now you're not going to do that. Now you're not going to do that, friend. You know, friend, you're not going to do that, friend. But saying that I don't feel comfortable going, like, you know what, you were there for what she did. Like, you know everything. Please don't make me do something I don't want to do. That I totally get it. I'm on her side.
Danny?
So I agree with this a little bit. Love what you said. My thing is, I think it still all boils down to it being Marisol's fault, because she's allowed this dynamic between her and Alexia to be that way. Alexia is looked at as the boss in that friendship. Even us looking in, she's not used to Marisol telling her no. She knows exactly what to do. As soon as Marisol said she didn't know she was coming, she turned on the waterworks and gaslit her and manipulated her
Yori.
to switch the subject. And you know, I can say many things about Marisol. Everybody knows she has never been my fave, but I will never ever deny that she's not a loyal friend. So Alexia knew just what to do to convince her to come. And the fact that she had already got that makeup on, that's very clear. Marisol was coming regardless too. It's an event for the show. You're gonna want to get paid. So yeah, I can't put the blame solely on Alexia here because people only do what you allow them to do, and Marisol has allowed this to be the dynamic their whole friendship.
Do either of y'all think that the truce between Adriana and Alexia is gonna last?
No, because it almost didn't last at the dinner. It almost didn't last at the lunch. You know, Adriana in true form and her true form and fashion, the minute she saw that Alexia was just being receptive to her, she started turning around. When Alexia was saying, you know, you went on your tour about she couldn't even finish talking before she interrupted her and said, yes, because of your Instagram post. Like, you're doing classic Adriana. Adriana can't help it. They're going to fall out again. And Marisol is going to be right there saying, I told you so, bro.
Bro. And it's funny that you
say that, by the way.
It's funny you say that because literally in the next scene, we see Adriana, Kiki, and Julia on the way to the party. And Adriana could not wait to break that truce and start talking mess about Alexia. Kiki asks her, hey, where do you stand with your friendship with Alexia? And Adriana was like, well, you know, sometimes Alexia is stuck up and she thinks she's better than everybody. She puts herself on a pedestal because she's got a rich husband. And I'm like, well, damn, you just had dinner 2 days ago and buried the hatchet.
Very Ashley Darby of her.
Very Ashley Darby.
And you know, we've said this before, Jamie. Adriana loves to make those comments about people thinking they're better than everybody. And that's a reflection of how she feels herself and her insecurity.
Yeah.
Because these ladies are just bees. They don't think they're better people. They're just B words.
But two things can be true at the same time. Two things. Alexia does place herself above. We saw how she was with the the newer cast. The very first season, she was trying to check them. Oh, you need to know your place. You need to do this. So two things can be true. But also, if I just started being your friend again and we buried the hatchet, baby, and the fact that I turn around in less than 48 hours already start parroting some of the same stuff that I said before, my God, didn't
very
waste
Lisa
no time.
As well.
All the names.
And Julia clocked it.
Very common.
But let's also be clear, Adriana wasn't the only one who did that. They probably just didn't film Alexia talking shit about her immediately after the lunch or dinner either.
Probably. Well, you know she did. You know she called by the soul. But I'm surprised that Julia said like, no, like was she like this before with her husband? And Adriana says her other husband wasn't that rich. I'm like, oh my God, stop, Adriana. But Julia does say, she's like, you know what? I'm a little annoyed. We're supposed to be moving forward. You're supposed to be burying the hatchet and letting go of the past. This is not the way that you let go of the past. Kiki playing producer as well.
For her. Especially if she just was fighting for her to come. And
Julia was her advocate.
Yeah.
Kiki is playing producer and says like, well, you know what? Marisol says she don't want to have nothing to do with you. She says she don't want to see you at all. And Adriana does not like that. You can tell that her and Marisol both have mutual animosity with each other. So we arrive at the party. Alexia does look very pretty in white. One thing about Alexia, as insufferable as she is always going to look amazing. She looks a little refreshed as well. But that little white number was cute. Larsa and Michael Jordan's Jr. arrived first. And oh my God, both of them look tacky as hell. Like Larsa is literally in just some like drag queen jumpsuit fabric draped over her plastic body and like a damn wet seal pump. It like she looks gross. Like, I'm sorry, this lady is so tacky to me. Julia walks in and has stepped up her fashion because we know Julia's never been known as a fashion girl, but this season, that little haircut got her feeling herself. That little blazer, she looks so cute. Kiki always looks 10s across the board. Frankie shows up and everybody's gushing over him. And I love seeing Frankie around. All of the ladies really treat him like a secondary son. Like they're all gushing. They're all talking. The husbands are saying hi to him. Adriana walks in, just gaudy as usual. Lisa. So we find like through some conversation, Adriana is talking with Lisa's man, and apparently Lisa's man lives in Adriana's old house. So I'm like, okay, cool. Adriana, like, it was very weird vibes. Like Adriana just kept looking at him, like smiling, just like, yeah, it's good to see you. I was like, this is so awkward.
I didn't like
Gertie
it.
and Nicole.
Yeah.
It was awkward, particularly thinking about how she told Marisol, like, your man wanted to flirt with me. And I'm like, oh, step away. Let's move.
Right.
Gertie and Nicole finally show up, and both of them look good. For me, I think Gertie was the best dress of this entire party. Like that look, that I Dream a Genie high ponytail with the bangs. Larsa sees her and immediately starts to seethe. Gertie just looks like a Barbie doll.
Gorgeous.
So gorgeous. What did y'all think of the fashions before we move into the drama as it starts? What did y'all think of the girls showing up to their first little event? Love.
I agree with you. Gertie came in pretty in pink. Like the light was on her no matter what part of the scene she was in. She looked great. Hair, makeup, shoe. I love how the producers and the cameramen really know which housewives we give a fuck about when it comes to fashions and which ones we don't. Because Potomac cameramen don't go head to toe on Giselle or Ashley. We don't get that energy.
Because they know.
But Miami, we
They
get
know.
that energy because they know we gonna see the fashions with Miami. So they gave us the head to toe. I thought Gertie definitely ate everybody up for sure. And Larsa's a horrible human being.
So
Just
here's
throw
the
that
thing.
in.
I didn't think anybody looked horrible, but Gertie was the only one that looked great. Nobody looked bad. Gertie was just the only one that looked great to me. I agree with Love, that Gertie she was breathtaking to me. But nobody else looked horrible. Like even Adriana didn't look horrible to me. She's normally the cheapest and tackiest looking one. But even she didn't look bad to me. So
Dr. Nicole looked pretty. That was a really, really pretty, like that sea foam kind of color on her. She looked really, really nice. Julia surprisingly stepped it up for me, so I love that. Larsa looked tacky. Y'all in the comments saying they did not look tacky. Larsa looked tacky as hell.
Look at Sammy.
Didn't judge her for the eggs. Why did we get why she brought eggs? Because even
She's been bringing them every time.
That's eggs. Did I miss that?
She brought it last season, eggs to somebody's house from her chickens in the back.
Sure, I missed that. So as Adriana and Lisa's man are talking, Gertie and Nicole are talking, everybody starts to like mingle. Larsa and Michael Jordan Jr. tell Lisa that they were at the same party as Leonard and his child bride, and that Lenny got up and expeditiously left once they saw them. And then after the combo, she immediately hobbles her waterbed booty over to the other ladies and blurts out, "Gertie, why did you call me fake?" And as you guys say, Larsa's a lot of things, but she is not afraid to get some shit popping. And of course, that kind of record scratches in the room. Everybody's attention kind of diverts over there. Gertie says that she thought Larsa was her friend, but she's been dismissive of her for the past couple of months. And they show some confessionals of this. And apparently, Gertie is watching the show back and is like, "Oh, okay, I didn't know you were saying some of these things."
Love, is that your sound tapping like that?
Sound? Let me check.
Yes. Okay. Well, I'm going to mute you really quick because it looks like there's just a little bit of feedback. And then before you start talking, I'll unmute you. Okay. So Gertie says that she thought Larsa was her friend. We see playback of Larsa telling Gertie to put a muzzle on it. We see at the reunion, Larsa was jumping in while Gertie was having that conversation with Alexia. Also, Larsa looks like in these shots that she got a new nose. It's looking a little pinched to me. Good for her. The ladies continue to argue as Marisol walks in, and she's like, oh my God, they're already fighting. Gertie removes herself from the situation and says, you know what? I don't need this energy. She leaves the conversation. Larsa says that Gertie called her fake to get press. Marisol then joins the group. And because of what Adriana said, Julia is a little taken aback that she's actually there. She thinks Marisol is there to stir the pot. And she's specifically the reason why nobody can move forward. The people mingle, and before they start with the dinner, Anthony is talking about how he bought a new collector car. Something catches fire on the table that the ladies are at and burns Nicole's $6,500 ostrich bag. And again, this scene was strictly to remind the girls that Anthony and Nicole are the ones with the coin and the ones with the money. So before we get into the last little bit, Danny, what are your thoughts on Larsa confronting Gertie right off the bat and Marisol actually showing up?
You know, so here's the thing. Unless we miss something, right? I don't necessarily remember Larsa coming for Gertie too much. You know, if you do, you can refresh my memory. Maybe something happened off camera that we're not aware of. So this is catching me off guard as well. I'm not going to lie. You know, there's somebody in the comments that tell me that I missed something, but so it is coming out of left field for me. I don't know if it's because, you know, her and Nicole have gotten real close. Maybe she just thinks Larsa's fake because of her beef with Nicole at the time. So, you know, I just don't know. So, and Marisol coming, I knew she was gonna come. So that ain't shocked me.
Well, we get everybody's finally all seated. I guess I thought it was going to be a dinner, but apparently it was just like a cocktail party. But okay, everybody finally sits down and Alexia reads from her script in her best Teresa Giudice hooked on phonics voice. She appreciates everybody coming. She wants everyone to move forward after the contentious reunion. She gives the entire room a dramatic update. I know everybody is wondering where Todd is, and so am I. And everybody looks very confused as to what is going on. And then she says, y'all don't worry, we're not getting divorced. And I'm like, okay, I don't think anybody was worried about that. But she says he didn't want to be a part of the drama. And then she tells Anthony, I hope you don't think he didn't show up because of you. I'm like, okay. I don't think he was. She then thanks everybody for coming, especially Marisol. She points to Marisol. Thank you for coming. I know you didn't want to be here. Julia kind of laughs and then jumps up and screams, I'm surprised you're even here. She then says, Marisol responds, you know, I'm here to support Alexia. And Julia says, no, I'm here to support my friend. You're here to hurt your friend. Marisol kind of looks at Alexia like, yo, you gonna do something? And Alexia is crickets. And I even think that she kind of like looks the other way, like, we're not doing this right now. So Marisol says that Alexia doesn't need any help from her. Julia then goes on to accuse Marisol of only coming once she heard that everybody else was going to be there, to which Marisol correctly replies, this is my best friend's house. I'm going to be invited here before any of you. In her confessional, Alexia says, well, you know, sometimes you just got to let some people fight their own battles. And I'm like, my God, lady, you let your best friend out there to fight for her life. Yet again, she backed off whenever Marisol really, really needed her. So they're yelling, and the husbands kind of one by one are like, yeah, no, we're going to go ahead and go. Even
when when Anthony said he was getting up and going to the bathroom, Marcus said, I'm going to the bathroom too. I'm like, this is not a public bathroom. There's not like 8 urinals.
Yeah.
Like,
he looked so uncomfortable. He was like, yeah.
Is it a meeting in the meetings in the ladies' room? Like, what's going on here?
Gonna be soon. But everybody one by one gets off. Even Marisol's man, like he looks like he wants to like jump in and defend her, but I think he's kind of like, no, I'm not going to get in ladies' business. This is one, and also Marisol really didn't need her help. I'm very happy that Marisol kind of stood her ground and was fighting back. Everybody's migrating, but I think the general consensus is of the men, like, my God, this is the first time we're all together, and this is what we've got. Finally, Gertie has had enough. She jumps up and screams, stop it. Is Is this the kind of disgusting environment that you guys like? Is this what y'all want?
Enough.
And then she leaves. Enough. Very Taylor Armstrong. Marisol sits down and says to Alexia, "Thanks for speaking up for me." And Alexia is stuttering and mumbles, avoiding accountability. He was like, well, I thought this was an issue between y'all, bro. Sorry, bro. Gertie goes outside, and her husband approaches her. And you could tell Gertie is visibly emotional. She's very shaken. We saw in a scene, obviously, we all know over the summer, Gertie was diagnosed with cancer, breast cancer. So apparently this was being filmed concurrently with that diagnosis. So what we're seeing is Gertie at the very beginning awaiting the results of a biopsy or results of further testing. So she's saying, I don't want to be in this environment. I can't be in. Her husband just says, okay, bet. You want to go? Let's go. Let's get it. I don't really care about this. So before we wrap up, Danny, do you want to go ahead and put the link in the chat for some call-ins? And while you do that, Love, what are your thoughts on Julia being the MVP of the first episode and making sure these ladies are working for their Bravo checks?
Ooh, Julia, look, listen. She said, I don't want Marisol to blink more than once without checking in with me. Okay? I'm on her ass. If this is the way we start in the season, I'm interested to see how it's going to fizzle out, or if Marisol is going to get on her hands and knees and bow to Julia so she stops coming for her neck, because this is a hell of a way to come out of the gate with somebody. Like, boom. She was not playing and didn't give a damn. She was still talking all she wanted to say while the men were getting up and leaving. She was like, yeah, all right, bye, Tom. And another thing. You are despicable. I was like,
she called her despicable. I said, wait, ooh, oh,
what is going on, Jay? Don't do her like that, because that's my girl. But you know what? All is fair in love and war. That was pent up. Let Julie let her get it off. I'ma just let her get it off. Now I did holler as soon as Julie turned and just gave her that energy. Marisol was just like, "You're saying weird shit, bro." Like, she was just so taken aback. Like, you're being weird, bro. Stop being weird.
I mean, she was right, but Julia was also right. So
it was. She was. But my goodness, what a way to end. And Gertie, my heart, it breaks a billion gazillion pieces. The ending was sad. It's just. I love them together.
I'm so thankful we able to see in real time how things are turning out for her. Because if she wasn't posting anything, we were left wondering how things are going.
Yeah.
I don't know if I could take that.
For real.
Yeah. Danny, what do you think Julia had a point with bringing this up in front of everybody? Whether it be for pure entertainment, or do you think that she was just like, you know what, here it is. It's on site with Marisol. I ain't seen her since the reunion. I'm tired of this. Let's go.
Yes and no. It wouldn't be Housewives, and it would be boring if she didn't.
Yes.
But at the same time, does she really need to, just how she saw how Adriana was ready to burn things down with Alexia already right after the thing, does she really need to continue to fight her battles? I'm going to say the same thing about her that I just said about Marisol earlier. Mm-hmm. Let these women duke it out on their own. Let Adriana fight her own battles. Adriana has to really learn what it's like to be on an island alone before she's ever going to truly, truly change. As long as somebody is backing that tacky woman, she is going to continue to, And I also agree with this comment. Marisol fought back well because she was sober.
That's true. Oh. I need more sober Marisol then.
You count your wins.
Marisol would have called her all types of B words.
Okay. Drunk Marisol would have.
That was a good Wednesday. She was sober on that Wednesday. We're going to let her have that.
We're going to let her have it. All right, guys. Danny put the link into the chat. So if you want to jump in with us as we recap this last little bit, give us your thoughts on this episode, please click on there and we'll get to you in just a few moments. So as Gertie and her husband file back in, the party seems to be dissipating, which that confused me because I was like, wait, dinner ain't been served, ain't nothing been served, but apparently it was just like a little cocktail get together. So they come back in. Nicole asks Gertie what's wrong, and she says, I can see it on your face. There's something going on. Gertie kind of avoids it and says, I'm good, everything's fine. But she does grab Larsa and she goes to talk, and she's visibly emotional again. And Larsa, being as insufferable as she can be, is like, why would you say that? I never said that. I thought we were friends. When have I ever been fake? And Gertie's like pleading with her, please, like, just stop talking. Let me talk.
Sure, no.
And finally, and Larsa still is not going. And Gertie is verge of tears saying, I'm going to need you. Please just let me speak. She says, I'm going to need you. When I call for you, just please promise that you'll come for me. And apparently all the women are hearing this, and all of them are really confused. They don't really understand what's going on with Gertie, but they can all tell that something is happening. So the final scene of the show, we see Gertie and her family, the final scene of the show happened the day before the actual party. Gertie and her family are having a little picnic. We see her sons playing, and Gertie and her husband are sitting down. Gertie finally stammers out that she got the results back from her biopsy, and she's just kind of in a state of shock. And she says, I can't bring myself to say the word cancer just yet. I can't wrap my head around that. She starts to cry. Her husband kind of is comforted her, and we're left with fading to black on this. So I agree with Danny. I'm glad that she has documented her journey, and we know she is in remission. She's beaten this or on the tail end of it, because had it ended that way, baby, I don't know what I would have done.
But Jamie, I'm on Larsa's side here. You can't call me fake and then 5 minutes later be crying, saying all that stuff. Nobody in that room knows she had a biopsy yet,
Yeah.
So it's just like, if everybody else is concerned watching, imagine how Larsa is on the receiving end of it. I would have thought that she was drunk as a skunk. So I don't blame Larsa for still continuing to be like, no, what did I do? Because all these people in this group know how to turn on the tears, so they don't know what's really happening. Jasmine, a biopsy. If y'all see my Greek wedding, that was one of the things the auntie used to say.
Jasmine, we were going to let him have it. You didn't have to call that out in the chat.
I said it on purpose, though.
So you say.
Yeah, no, so I know. Of course, y'all heard it. I said it.
Danny, can y'all let this man
seen
finish?
That movie, then my bad. It was a very poor, reference.
We get it, Danny. Love, what are your thoughts?
Well, Danny, just to spin off with what you said, luckily we don't care what Larsa says or feels. So thankfully, it doesn't matter how Larsa received that, because no substance at all with how she emotes anything. Oh gosh, it's goodness. And to end the episode with that made the first introduction to the season just chef's kiss. We got a little bit of everything in this first episode.
Heartfelt, sincere,
everything.
Drama,
I mean, it
comedy.
blows Beverly Hills out the water. I said it.
It blew everything.
It's my square.
Yeah.
Okay.
And we agree with you.
Beverly Hills out of the water. I'm sorry. You got everything. The reminders of what happened were great. Can we talk about the editing and whoever is doing who's in the cutting room floor? I mean, the transitions were good. I love the flashbacks and everything. I thought it was very, very well done.
But I want to say this about editing too. I think the poorest editing team would still do a great job in Miami, because they're giving you content. We rag on a lot of these other production companies, but when you don't have much to work with, Miami is consistently giving you something to work with.
Right.
And I think it's the girls. The worst production company would be able to get that done right. And I do agree with you, Love, in the sense that of course we don't care what Larsa thinks, but we also have to remember that everyone else is just as confused as her. If it was just her, I might have felt that way. But everybody's looking like, what girl, what? Except for Nicole. Nicole kind of knows.
Yeah. Because she came to her letting her know.
But Nicole knows how to hold a secret and let somebody tell their own story.
Listen, I agree. The girls, the thing that sets apart Miami women for the other one, because we've seen other franchises where every single housewife is clocked in, and sometimes it can be a little exhausting. Salt Lake City, season 2 and 3, everybody was clocked in, but by episode 5, we were goddamn tired of seeing the girls clock in. It was okay for somebody to take a sick day. Someone should have called in. Like, we don't need that many women clocked in because they try too hard. Miami, since the reboot has started, they have given us content that is authentic and genuine. And I think this reboot has worked because they brought the perfect number of old cast members with the perfect temperaments and sprinkled in an equal number of new girls with the same temperaments. And so, like, immediately there were sparks and everybody kind of was up to each other's par, versus where we see in, like, say, Atlanta, they're bringing on some of these new girls who either try to go for Kenya, the top dog, and don't have the range to really go toe-to-toe with her. And so they start grasping at straws for artificial, like, storylines and stuff like that. And it's exhausting. So I hope that Miami stays the course. We, at the end of this, we get a little bit of the preview for the rest of the season, and it looks like a doozy. It looks like it's going to be fantastic. So I'm not concerned about content. I'm not concerned about them fishing for storylines. It looks good. Production looks great. Tonio in the comments asked what we would rate the episode. I would give this episode a good 9. This episode was near perfect for me. I would have liked to see more Kiki.
I'm gonna give it a 10. It was perfection to me. I don't think they did anything wrong this episode as far as introducing us as to what's to come for the rest of the season. I think I'd give it a 10.
What about you, Love?
I'm gonna give it a 9 only because Larsa's in the show, but it would have been a 10.
If this is what the rest of the season's gonna be like.
Like, you know how Beverly Hills didn't have Crystal in the first episode? I wish we could have had that reverse Uno, and it would have been Larsa gone like Crystal. Like, that's so 9.5. I'll be fair.
Look, okay. I don't see it for Larsa either, but that lady, she is a good housewife. For somebody that only was on the original for a single season and then quit, like, she came back with a vengeance, and it does not look like she's clocking out. So she drains every bit of life out of me, but she's necessary as a villain. And she leans into being a villain. Like, she's, from season to season, you don't see her on an apology tour. She's not like, oh, I need to change my ways. I'm sorry I hurt you. Baby, she's like, yeah, okay. And it's still up. And I respect that. She doesn't care what you think about it.
It's easy to be a bitch, and that's when you wake up every day.
Yeah, but she's no Adriana. Adriana will be a villain and then try to be the victim.
And that's why she's a little draining.
She gives me very Drew with the
with the corniness. And I have to be honest, if I had to pick between Larsa and Adriana coming back, I would choose Larsa every time over Adriana. Adriana, her antics are exhausting. She's not being sincere.
I agree.
She's giving me Drew with throwing the bone in every season.
Yeah.
She has a prop. That's what. And Love, I don't like seeing Drew.
At all. You really don't.
All right. Well, it looks like that we do not have any callers tonight, so we're going to go ahead and wrap this up. It looks like the chat was very, very active. We love seeing that. We've got we had at the highest about 55 live viewers, so thank you to every single person that logged in.
We need 55 likes.
Be sure to like and subscribe this. Thank you to all of our regulars that popped up. Really quick, if this is your first time joining either the Miami live or any one of our lives, please let us know in the chat so that way we can give you a shout out. We love seeing new viewers. We love seeing our regular viewers. We've got Tonio, Sean S. You, baby girl, we can always count on you popping up on every single live, and we love it. You're active in the comments. You're getting the people talking. I see Cimera in there, Brian Cito, GD, of course, Antonio, Jasmine, and Sammy, who took time out of their nights off to come in and mix it up with us. Kevin Ackerman, Palaver Girl. Let me see, who else do we got in
You
here.
know, every
Yes.
time y'all do
Everyone
the call out of callers at the end of the show, I just think of Whitney Houston at the BET Awards. Shelly, Aaliyah, Pam, damn. That's all I
Shawness,
think.
Antonio, Sam, Olive Girl.
You better lay low.
All right, guys. Thank you guys for making the first episode of season 6 a huge success. We look forward. Be sure to catch us every single Thursday night live for the remainder of the season. We've got, yes, what's up?
I just want to say one thing. Last night, nobody ain't calling on Beverly Hills. Nobody ain't calling in tonight. We're not going to do that. Y'all going to do like y'all
Y'all going to have to call in.
Interact with us. We actually look forward to y'all calling in and having y'all.
Don't be scared.
Yeah, we love it.
All right, guys, we will see y'all. We're live every Thursday night at 7:30 p.m. Central. Whatever time zone you're in, look it up because I don't know that off the top of my head. As we've said on every single episode the last 2 weeks, it is a stacked schedule for us. We've got Married to Medicine that's coming. Potomac starts next week. We're recapping Salt Lake City. Bell Collective is popping back up. We're still doing Lunch and Leans. We've got Real Housewives of Beverly Hills. So the best way to keep up with what you're doing is right on this little screen. I believe it's in the right-hand side. There's a little bell that will give you updates on whenever we go live, whenever we post schedules. Follow us on Twitter. Follow us on, I think we're on Instagram. Tess, can you please confirm that?
Sean ain't nothing tomorrow but rest.
So thank you guys so much. We appreciate you. Hey, Ronnie, welcome. We will talk to you guys next week. Love and Danny, thank you guys so much for making the inaugural episode a huge success. It was fun. Not Chase saying happy birthday to himself. Can everybody say happy birthday to Chase really quick?
Birthday. Y'all hit it.
Happy birthday, Chase.
Chase, put your cash app in
Happy
the comments
birthday
and get your coins.
to you. Happy birthday. Okay,
Happy birthday. I don't know the words. All right, guys. I love y'all. You guys have a fantastic night. Hold on. Let me get, I forgot that I was doing the outro. Y'all have a good night. We will see y'all later.